Hey, Hank can certainly handle that stage.
You call him a stage driver? You should have seen me bring him in. And back in the days when all these roads in the hills were nothing but a couple of wagon tracks. Fact is, I brought him in so easy, folks slipped most of the time.
I can sure understand that, Baldy. It's a wonder to me how they manage to stay awake at all. Listening to you gab.
Oh, isn't it lovely up here, Lorna?
What's lovely about it, Aunt Martha? Nothing but a lot of rocks and trees and men who look like ornaments on a croquet court.
Well, I admit the West is more primitive than our London, Lorna. But don't you think it's more interesting?
You can have it, Ronald. I'm sorry I agreed to stop over at the ranch for even one day. Thank goodness we'll be on our way to California tomorrow.
Pardon me, ma'am. Are you the folks what's headed for the LD ranch?
Yes, quite.
Well, I'm to drive you out to the ranch. I'm Baldy.
So I perceive.
Guess you don't understand, ma'am. My name's Baldy. Baldy Morton.
Must we stand around here talking in this awful place?
No, we can head for the ranch right away. Just toss your saddlebags on the buckboard.
Saddlebags?
He means the luggage.
Oh, get our things together, Ronnie. There's a good boy.
Here, my good man, help the driver with these things, will you?
Which of this stuff belongs to your outfit, mister?
All of it.
I guess I'll have to go back and get the hay wagon. I only brung the buckboard.
Are we expected to ride in that clumsy contraption? Over more of these mountain roads? Not I. I'll wait and ride in the hay wagon.
Well, I'll not wait. Come on.
Well, I'd much rather you didn't go off alone that way, Lorna, my dear.
And I'd rather I did.
As long as you intend marrying Lorna, you might just as well get used to that sort of thing. I'm afraid she's a little bit willful and spoiled.
Just get right on in, miss.
Must you poke along so?
We'll be ready in a minute, miss.
Need some help, Baldy?
If I dare to get more sense than expected from you.
I'm Lucky Jenkins.
That's not my fault.
I work out the LD ranch, too.
Just a cowhand.
I thought perhaps if I could be of some service to you, I'd...
You can be of service. You can help unload the luggage.
Oh, Charles. Glad to see you back. I didn't think you'd be out for at least another year.
Got time off for good behavior.
Oh, so the bad man's reformed, huh?
Sure. Till I even things up with the man that sent me to jail. Better go easy. I know what I'm doing, Doc. I swore I'd get him for breaking up my gang and sending me to the pen. And I'm going to if it's the last thing I ever do.
Well, I guess you know what you're doing. It's your funeral. But if it was me, I wouldn't have any hankering to shoot it out with Mr. Hopalong Cassidy.
Don't worry. There ain't going to be any trying to shoot it out with him this time.
Right over there in the canyon is where we rounded up the rustlers. I got off my horse, and I snuck up behind them. And there was Cassidy, big as life, covering the whole bunch of them.
Cassidy, that's all you seem to talk about.
Well, I reckon he's worth talking about, ma'am. Ain't no whiter man on the range than Hopalong Cassidy. I ain't never known him to do a thing that weren't right. Wait till you meet him. You'll change your mind about not wanting to stay out here.
Must you talk so much?
Kind of got the jump, ain't you, ma'am?
Who wouldn't have? Listening to stupid people. Sometimes I wish I'd never been born.
Yeah, been times when I felt that way, too. Especially after celebrating, after the roundup. Before I took the pledge. Why, once I remember coming down the road with...
Spare me the details. Can't you make these horses move a bit faster?
Make them? Why, they're just aching to run.
If you're afraid to let them, give me the reins.
Oh, no, you couldn't handle these critters, ma'am.
I've ridden some of the best hunters in England.
Yeah, maybe you have, but these Broncos are different. Why, nobody can handle these excepting me and Cassidy. Nope, couldn't let you drive these critters.
I'm not used to people telling me what I can't do.
No, miss. Cassidy told me never... Better hold them down, ma'am, or they get out of hand.
I can't. They've got the bits in their teeth.
Cut on all the yearlings, Steve, and we'll herd them back to the home range.
All right, Hoppy.
What are you trying to do, Baldy? Break your neck? You know better than to run these horses, especially when you got somebody with you.
In case it's any of your business, I happen to be driving.
Well, you're crazier than I thought you was. Letting a woman drive this team. Don't ever do a thing like that again.
He will if I order him to again.
Oh, no, he won't, ma'am. Not so long as I'm foreman of this ranch.
Are you trying to tell me what I shall or shall not do?
In this case, yes.
I've never learned to take orders, Mr. Foreman.
Well, right now's as good a time as any to start learning. Get on back to the ranch, Baldy, and walk them horses.
Why, the uncouth, domineering bounder. He ought to be slapped.
Well, I reckon you'd have a hard time to find the one to do that, ma'am.
Why?
'Cause ain't many folks what's tried it that's lived to brag about it.
Not even your famous friend, Cassidy?
No, not even him.
Why not, if he's so brave?
'Cause that happens to be Hopalong Cassidy yourself you was a-talking to. Yeah. Yeah.
We've already shipped 600 head and got the best price we've had in years.
Why must I listen to such dull things?
Seeing you're interested in the syndicate, I thought maybe you'd like to know how I've been managing the ranch.
Mr. Benson, I'm not interested in anything other than getting the stagecoach back to civilization just as soon as I can.
Carlos got back in town this morning, Hoppy.
Yeah? He had a right to, I guess. Was his home range before he got himself sent away.
Well, you and me had better go over and tell him where he gets off, just in case he's planning on starting something.
Take it easy, Lucky. There's no sense kicking a man when he's down. If Scar ain't looking for trouble, we won't make none for him.
Well, I'm going to keep my eye on him just for luck.
I can always count on you, old-timer.
Oh, shucks, ain't nothing.
Say, Baldy. Was that Miss Drake you had in the buckboard?
Yeah. Done pretty, ain't she?
Oh, she's all right.
She's got a temper like poison. Don't go getting interested in that gal, Hoppy.
Who said anything about getting interested? You know me better than that.
Really, my dear, I think you should reconsider your decision to leave. A stay out here might be good for your nerves.
There's nothing wrong with my nerves. What's there to stay for? I fail to see anything interesting in cattle and a lot of stupid cowmen.
They may be stupid, but they're very attractive. For instance, if that one had on gentlemen's riding togs, the whole of Hyde Park would be turning round to look at him.
That's the fellow who had the temerity to talk back to me on the road this morning.
I beg your pardon, Miss Lorna. I'd be willing to gamble anything. But Hoppy wouldn't do a thing like that unless he was figuring on doing it for your own good.
What makes you so sure?
Just because doing the right thing happens to be Cassidy's way.
Well, keep him awfully busy, going around being a good Samaritan. I imagine it must be rather hard on his wife, being married to such a paragon.
Hoppy, married? There hasn't been a woman yet ever been able to lay a rope on him.
There's always a first time for everything. You know, I've changed my mind about leaving tomorrow. I think we'll stay on for a while. Invite Mr. Cassidy for dinner, Aunt Martha.
An excellent idea. We'd ask the men in. We'd all dress for dinner, of course.
Excuse me. I wouldn't try playing any games with Hoppy if I were you, Miss Lorna.
And why not?
Well, he's not like the folks you're used to knowing. People who try to shove him around are liable to get their fingers burnt.
Did you ever know me to run away from trouble, Benson?
No, and that's what's bothering me. I've never known Cassidy to back away from it either.
If you think I'm going to wear anything like this to dinner with a lot of women folks around, you're crazy.
I don't like the idea any more than you do. But you heard what the old lady said. We're to wear evening clothes, and that's what we're going to wear.
If you hadn't have put your foot in it when she asked you if you had evening clothes, everything would have been all right.
But I couldn't lie to her. With it hanging right there in a bunk in front of her.
Sure is a new one on me. Will you stop playing that thing?
That's the trouble with you old mossbacks. You don't keep up with the times. Why didn't you hear Miss Martha say that none of them foreigners in London would take a lady to dinner unless he had his evening clothes on?
Must be getting crazier and crazier.
Come on, we may as well face the music. Oh, you go ahead, Baldy. I forgot something. I'll be with you in a minute.
Whoa. Howdy.
What's the matter, Baldy? Ain't you coming to the party?
Of course. Didn't think they'd have a shindig around here without inviting me, did you?
What's the idea of the nightshirt?
Well, the invitation said evening clothes, didn't it?
Sure. That's why we rented them from the undertaker.
Oh, you.
You darn young squirt. You knew it was wrong all the time. I'll get even with you. Why don't you take them gloves off, Horace? You ain't driving nowhere.
Mr. Benson tells me you're responsible for building up a very fine herd, Mr. Cassidy.
That's right, ma'am. There ain't a finer...
Isn't, Baldy?
Isn't a finer herd of longhorns on the range than ours.
Ours, Baldy.
Than ours.
Seems to be quite a number of one-track minds here tonight, Mr. Cassidy. Is there something more important than cattle to talk about?
Not to me, there ain't.
I suppose not. Then one shouldn't expect too much mentality in a place like this.
Oh, Lorna.
Oh, that's right, ma'am. As hard as we try, we can't seem to pound sense into some people's heads.
Perhaps it's because you're not a good teacher, Mr. Cassidy.
It's kind of hard when the people you're trying to teach are not willing to learn.
Imagine it would be rather difficult, trying to use the same methods with people as you do with cattle or horses.
It sure is. The horses usually meet you halfway.
Hoppy's dead right there, ma'am. You take the case of that horse Mr. Benson gave him. When he first come here, that critter was a killer if there ever was one. But Hoppy knew how to handle him, coaxing him 1 minute and bossing him the next. And the first thing you know, that horse was eaten out of his hand. Ain't nothing he can't handle.
Perhaps you'll give us a demonstration. I expect you to ride out with me tomorrow and show me the ranch.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to be busy here at the home ranch. I'll send one of the boys out with you.
I'll go.
I asked Mr. Cassidy. And I usually have my requests obeyed. You understand that, don't you, Mr. Cassidy?
I'm sorry, miss, but I have other things to do tomorrow. More important.
Didn't you hear me? I said you would.
Unless you're hard of hearing, you heard what I said.
I'm sorry. It's an accident.
Well, that's all right. Accidents can happen to anybody.
You did that deliberately.
Well, not any more than you did. I guess we both need a little cooling off anyway.
Why, you insolent boor. Wish I were a man for a minute.
You've almost got me wishing the same thing.
Mr. Cassidy, Miss Drake is my fiancée.
You keep out of this.
Yeah, you keep out of
You
this.
be quiet. I've half a mind to slap your face.
Me? Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Young lady, you're liable to get yourself spanked going around slapping at people.
Let go of me. Go ahead and laugh, Mr. Cassidy. Next time it may be my turn to laugh.
That's right. Tomorrow is always another day. You never can tell just what will happen.
Yes. That's just what I'm thinking. Good morning, Mr. Cassidy.
Good morning, miss.
My horse ready?
Yes, here comes Baldy with him now. You know as much about the ranch as anybody, Baldy. You can show Miss Drake anything she wants to see.
Oh, Baldy can come along if you'd like him to. But I expect you to show me the ranch.
I'm sorry, but I thought I made myself clear last night. I have work to do.
You're riding with me, Mr. Cassidy. That's not a request. It's an order.
I only take orders from the boss of this ranch.
Do you by any chance happen to know who owns this ranch?
Certainly, the LD Syndicate.
Well, I happen to be the LD Syndicate.
That's right, Hoppy. Miss Drake does hold a controlling interest in the syndicate.
Now that you understand the situation, I expect you to obey my orders in the future without arguing about it.
You're going to be disappointed, miss. You can make out my time, Benson. I'm riding over to the barracks to look for another job.
You can pay me off, too. If Cassidy ain't sticking...
Isn't, Baldy?
Isn't or ain't, makes no difference to me. If Cassidy ain't sticking, I isn't either.
I don't like the idea of Cassidy walking off on us this way, Miss Lorna.
Well, what's the difference? It should be very easy to find another foreman.
Yes, but you can't find another Cassidy.
Do you think he'll really leave and not come back?
You can bet your last dollar he won't. You don't know, Hoppy.
I understand that's one of the ranch horses you gave Mr. Cassidy.
Yes.
Did you give him a bill of sale?
No, of course not. When we give a man a horse out here, well, we just give it to him.
Then legally he doesn't own that animal, does he?
Well, no, not if you put it that way.
How unbusinesslike. Help me up, Ron. I think Mr. Cassidy will be back.
Where are you going, Lorna?
Into town on legal business. And furthermore, I demand my legal rights, Mr. Sheriff.
Well, just what do you want me to do, miss? You can't make me believe that Hopalong Cassidy would steal a horse.
And I tell you he did. That animal he's riding is my property, and I expect you to do your duty. If you don't, I'll see that you're removed from office.
Well, you're going to be responsible for whatever is going to happen. Oh, Joe, you better round up a lot of the boys, a big bunch of them, because we're liable to have a job on our hand bringing Hoppy in.
All right.
Ain't regretting pulling out, are you, Hoppy?
Yeah, a little. It ain't just right leaving Benson in a lurch.
Glad you didn't start liking that girl, Hoppy. She'd have made fools out of all of us.
Oh, I reckon she'd be all right, Baldy, if she just had some sense pounded into that pretty little head of hers.
Yeah. Man would have had a hard time trying that.
I found that out.
Look, Hoppy.
Must be some trouble. Let's see what's going on.
Sheriff. Who are you after?
You're very wise to give yourself up, Mr. Cassidy.
What do you mean?
Hoppy, you're under arrest.
For horse stealing.
Is this some of your doings, miss?
Of course. I happen to own that horse you're riding.
Well, that's Hoppy's horse, and I can prove it.
Ask Mr. Cassidy to show you a bill of sale.
You don't expect to get away with this, do you?
If Cassidy can't show you a bill of sale, Mr. Sheriff, it's up to you to do your duty.
Oh, say, now, I'm sorry, Hoppy, but I gotta...
There ain't nobody gonna arrest Hoppy while I'm around here. Any one of you guys lay a hand on Hoppy, and you're gonna have to account to me.
And now, listen here. You keep your mouth shut, Baldy, or you'll end up in jail, too.
Arrest me? Well, just you start trying, you gall-darned idiot. You can't arrest me. I ain't done nothing. And you can't put a man in jail for nothing. Let me out of here, gall-darn you.
Calm down, will you, Baldy? We get this thing straightened out, then we'll get out of here.
You're gall-darn right we will. You just leave things to me.
Now, take it easy. They can't keep a man in jail for nothing.
No? Then what are we doing in here?
Some wall-eyed varmint had Cassidy thrown in jail for stealing a horse. Come on, let's get him out if we have to tear the jail down. You just sign that complaint there, miss, and I'll, take Cassidy over to the county seat to stand trial.
Wait. I changed my mind. I want you to release Mr. Cassidy.
Well, I'll be doggone if I can understand you, ma'am. Why, an hour ago, you was insisting that I arrest Cassidy. Now you want me to turn him loose.
Can't you understand? I'd like to keep Mr. Cassidy from continuing his life of crime if I can. You see, I don't think he's altogether bad. Even though he is a horse thief, there may be a little good in him somewhere. If he only had the right influence over him. I should hate to think that I was the one who didn't give him that chance. If you release him to me on parole, I'll see that he obeys the law.
Yeah. Well, you think that'd be legal, ma'am? No, I'll tell you what I better do. I better make out some papers of some kind for you to sign. You know, about your being responsible.
So, that was her idea for having me arrested. Well, she's smarter than I give her credit for being. Well, if that's the kind of a war she wants, that's the kind of a war she'll get.
Looks to me like you're asking for trouble.
Maybe so. But any bronc that's worthwhile is worth the trouble taming.
You know, miss, I don't know whether Cassidy's gonna like this.
Oh, what do you care? You don't expect to be sheriff all your life. Where's your ambition? Wouldn't you like to run for governor or maybe senator someday? And if you had influential friends, maybe they could do something for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just sign right there. Well, Cassidy, I'm letting you out under parole to this lady here.
Oh, I ain't so sure I want to leave. I find your jail kind of comfortable.
Oh, I know, but listen, Cassidy, you can't stay in my jail. Oh, you caused me enough trouble already. Now, come on, get out.
You can't throw me out. You know it's against the law to use violence on a prisoner.
You're not going to let him tell you what you can do in your own jail, are you, Mr. Sheriff?
Yeah, oh, no. Oh, come on, please, Cassidy.
No.
Oh, but look, you're making things awful tough for me.
No, sir. I'm staying right here. Think I don't know when I'm well off? Why, wild horses couldn't drag me out of here.
Show me that group that said Hoppy was a horse thief. I'll blast the pants off of him. Nobody's going to keep Hoppy in jail. Not while he's got friends outside.
Any more of my friends try to help me, I'm liable to wind up spending the rest of my life in here.
Tell me who did it, Hoppy. I'll pin his ears back for him. Who's the dirty, mangy, conniving polecat?
I happen to be the odoriferous quadruped to whom you refer, Mr. Jenkins.
Huh?
She means she done it, Lucky.
I didn't mean it about you, man.
Hey, now, listen here. If you folks are going to argue, you go on out in the street and do it. Now, come on, get out, all of you. Come on, get out.
Me too?
No, you can stay. Yes, you get out, too.
Well, if you insist, I have to obey the law.
Here, guns, Cassidy.
Thanks, Sheriff.
It's all right.
What happened, Lorna? I just heard that you had Cassidy arrested.
It's all straightened out. Mr. Cassidy's been released under probation to me.
What's got into you lately, Lorna? Wasting your time on an ordinary cowhand.
Say, I don't like that remark, mister. And I don't like your looks either. I think I'll change them.
Take it easy, Lucky. This is my argument.
You looking for trouble, too?
None of us are looking for trouble unless it's wished on us.
I don't advise you to try anything with Ron, Mr. Cassidy. He was boxing champion of his college.
You just remember your plates and you'll keep out of trouble.
Some people never know when to stop talking.
Wait a minute. I don't like your attitude. I think I'll teach you a lesson, too.
I thought you knew how to take care of yourself.
I do. But you ever think a man would be fool enough to leave with his right?
Mr. Cassidy seems to have a habit of doing the unexpected. Wait a minute, Mr. Cassidy. I'm riding back to the ranch with you.
You do nothing of the kind. You're riding back with me.
Haven't you learned yet that you can't give me orders?
Are you forgetting that you're engaged to me?
I'm trying to.
Looks like my luck has changed.
What do you mean?
I don't think it'd take much talking to have that young fellow do a little work for me. Set up a bottle. Guess you made a mistake, too, mister, running up against Cassidy.
What business is it of yours?
None. Only I was hoping you'd knock the daylights out of him. I ain't got no reason for loving him either. Framed me and sent me up the pen for 5 years.
Well, I'm not through with him yet.
Well, if I was in your place, I'd be certain I was holding aces before I started shooting.
You don't think I'd use a gun, do you?
I don't know about you. But if I was a man who was figuring on getting hitched up to some woman, and I saw a better man stepping in, I don't think I'd care just how I went about stopping him.
Yes, that would be murder.
No, it wouldn't. Suppose you were cleaning a gun, and the gun went off accidentally, and Cassidy was standing around.
Did you rub witch hazel on your jaws? I told you to, Ronnie.
Yes.
Let's see. Why, the swelling's almost all gone.
Where's Lorna?
Out walking with Mr. Cassidy.
Aunt Martha, don't you think we'd better get Lorna away from here before she makes a fool of herself over that...
Don't say it. Remember what happened today.
Well, we must do something.
Must is a word one never uses with Lorna, Ronnie. You know that. If she's made up her mind to be interested in Mr. Cassidy, then there's no way of stopping her.
But she's just a penniless cowhand.
You're not exactly wealthy yourself.
I may not have money, but at least I have family. I'm a gentleman.
London's full of gentlemen. And I can picture Mr. Cassidy holding his own with any of them. Why, he'd be a sensation there. You have my sympathy, Ronnie, of course. But I'm afraid as long as Mr. Cassidy's around, you'll have to make up your mind to run second best with Lorna.
We'll start out early in the morning so we can ride all day.
You're giving the orders. You're the boss. Well, good night, miss.
Don't go yet. It's too early to go in on such a lovely night. And besides, I want to hear about those lovely new fences you're going to put up.
All right.
I'm sorry about my part of what happened in town today, Cassidy.
That's all right. Forget it.
About those fences, Mr. Cassidy.
Oh, yeah. I think we ought to use some of that newfangled wire fencing they're talking about.
So do I.
Pretty, ain't it?
As I ride through the pine wood trees, when there's moonlight on the sunset trail. Still is the night, and I'm filled with a strange delight. Moonlight on the sunset trail. Someday love and I would meet when it's moonlight on the sunset trail.
You rather liked that, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You're going to be easier to manage than I thought.
Well, I wouldn't gamble too much on that. You can't keep singing all the time.
We'll see.
Lorna, you'd better turn in and get some sleep if you're starting out early in the morning.
All right. Till morning, then. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Ronnie.
Oh, I'd like to do a little hunting tomorrow, Cassidy. I wonder if you'd have one of the boys show me where I could get a shot at some coyotes.
There's bigger game around here than that. I'll send one of the boys out with you. Better make sure this gun ain't loaded before you go on cleaning it.
You don't think I'd clean a loaded gun, do you?
You can't tell. I've known it to happen.
How on earth did that get in there?
Liable to happen to most anyone. But it's mighty dangerous. You might fire it accidental-like and hurt yourself. Good night.
Wait a minute, Lorna. I'm going with you.
Oh, I don't think you'd enjoy hearing us talk business all day. Just stay here and amuse Aunt Martha, like a good boy. Come on, Mr. Cassidy.
Mighty fine-looking couple. Mighty lucky girl, too, to have Hoppy take up with her that way. I ain't never known him to do it afore. Wouldn't be surprised if I was the best man at a wedding around here one of these days. Say, did I ever tell you about the time
shut up, you old idiot.
So you had him where you wanted him and then lost your nerve. Well, I guess there's nothing left for you to do except sit back and watch him walk off with your girl.
Well, if you hate him so much, why don't you do something about getting rid of him yourself?
I'm going to one of these days, but that won't do you any good.
Why not?
I can't afford to be suspected now. I've got to bide my time. May even take a year. And according to the way the wind's blowing now, you'll be out of the running long before that.
Since you're so wise, suppose you advise me just what to do.
There are lots of ways of doing things if you just use your head.
For instance?
I'll get word to you when I get things set. It may take a day or two, and then we'll both call it quits with Mr. Cassidy.
I'll be waiting to hear from you.
You're laying yourself open, tipping your hand in front of that fella.
That's where you're wrong, Doc. I'm killing two birds with one stone.
I don't get you.
Why did I trick him into talking in front of a witness?
I don't know. Why?
He's going to marry money, ain't he?
Yeah?
Well, if Cassidy should die suddenly, this young fellow will pay us plenty from then on for keeping our mouths shut.
But suppose he ain't got nerve enough to get Cassidy.
You don't have to. As long as he's in on this thing with us, that's all we need.
Hey, you got a head on your shoulders at that, Scar.
I had plenty of time to figure out a lot of things. In the pen.
The ranch boundary lays just the other side of that canyon, ma'am. That dam over there is where we store our water during the dry spell.
I thought you might have possibilities, Mr. Cassidy. Here we've been riding all morning through country that would inspire a poet. And all you can talk about is how much water it'll take to the stock and how many head of cattle we expect to ship.
Well, I thought you got me out of jail to be a ranch foreman, not to recite poetry to you.
Do you think it'd be too much of a strain on the intelligence to say something nice to me?
No, I guess not. Just what would you like for me to say to you?
You could at least say you thought I was attractive.
That'd be easy to do. But I believe in the old saying, handsome is as handsome does.
I shouldn't have expected much from you. You see, I'm used to the kind of gentleman I've always known.
Oh, I wouldn't take that too much to heart, ma'am. Folks can outgrow most anything if they try.
Why are we talking this way when you know neither of us mean it?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because we both know you're playing a game.
I'm not so sure it's a game. You know you like me, Hoppy.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
Well, why don't you go ahead and say what you're thinking?
I was just thinking we ought to make that dam up there a little bit stronger. It's liable to give way someday. Would you like to take a look at the herd up on the north line?
No. We're going back to the ranch.
Ranch?
I told you nobody could stick with that walled-eyed cayuse.
Yeah, well, I'm going to ride him again. As soon as I get some liniment, I'm going to ride that sleepy-eyed cuss if it's the last thing I do.
Yeah? What kind of flowers do you want?
Flowers? What do you mean, flowers?
I'm ready for my riding lesson, Baldy.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get a horse saddled for you right away.
Be sure it's a gentle one. I've never been on a horse before.
Oh, shucks, 'tain't nothing.
Nice horsey.
Get off of that horse, ma'am, before you get yourself killed.
Don't be silly. He's as gentle as a lamb.
Did you break anything?
If I ever sit down again, it'll be a miracle.
Oh, shucks, 'tain't nothing.
I think we'll postpone the riding lesson for today.
Well, you ain't going to let a little thing like a little bump stop you from learning to ride, are you?
Little? Whose bumps are they, anyway?
Now, if there's any more of the ranch that you'd like to get acquainted with, I'll be glad to show you around.
I suppose there's ranch wagons and poultry I haven't seen yet.
Oh, yes. You want me to trot them out?
Yes, tomorrow. After I've left for California.
You're not leaving so soon.
Of course. There's nothing interesting enough to make me want to stay.
I'm right sorry to hear you talk that way, miss.
Then you think I should stay?
Of course. You know, a ranch is always run much better when the owner's on the place.
Is that the only reason you can give for wanting me to stay?
Well, I can't think of a better, right now.
Very well. I leave everything in your care, Mr. Cassidy. You were telling me how much you cattlemen dislike sheep, weren't you? Well, you're going to have to like them. I've decided to raise sheep instead of cattle.
Sheep is one thing we don't fool about, miss.
But I'm not fooling. I'm very much in earnest. Sheep are such lovely, woolly little things.
Oh, you can't be serious. You want to start a range war?
I think I've made myself quite clear.
I'm not going to let you do a thing like that.
I'll do anything I please, Mr. Cassidy, if it happens to suit my mood.
No, you won't. I'm not going to stand by and see men shot up just to satisfy some foolish idea you've got.
How dare you talk to me like this?
It looks to me like you needed a little talking to. So long as you weren't serious, I was perfectly willing to stand by and let you have your fun. But right now, I'm telling you, you try putting sheep on this range, and I'll make it my personal business to run them off.
I don't like the way you're talking to me, Mr. Cassidy. This happens to be my property. Now get off. You're discharged.
You mean I'm fired? You can't fire me. Are you forgetting I'm under probation to you?
Is that girl plumb crazy going to bring sheep in here? Don't make sense.
doesn't, Baldy.
Well, it doesn't make sense either.
Surprised at you, Baldy. I think it'd be lovely to have sheep here. I always did think that little Bo Peep was the sweetest little thing.
Miss Lorna, you don't mean that about bringing sheep in here, do you?
I most certainly do. Now, do you think I'm going to let Cassidy lord it over me this way?
If you start anything like that, it's going to cost more than you bargained for.
I don't care what it costs. I'm going to make him crow.
You still don't know him very well, then. If it means that kind of war, Cassidy will win it or die trying.
You mean he might be hurt?
You start a range war, and the chances are more than even that a lot of men will wind up with bullets in them.
Oh, I wouldn't want anything to happen to him for that. I've got to do something to let him know who's master. I can't let him go on thinking he can handle me the same as he does everyone else.
I wished I could help you, Miss Lorna. Seems that I can't.
You like Cassidy a lot more than you're willing to admit, don't you, Lorna?
I'm afraid I do, Ron.
Well, I suppose there's nothing left for me to do but to bow out gracefully and wish you luck.
You're a dear, Ronnie. I'm sorry to have to hurt you. I'm very fond of you in my own way, really. But I must be honest. If I hadn't met Mr. Cassidy, darn him, I'll teach him who's who. If he thinks I'm going to give in first, he's mistaken.
You looking for something?
Oh, why, I was looking for someone to saddle my horse. I want to ride into town.
Must be something wrong with your eyesight. He hasn't been unsaddled yet.
Well, thanks. That's how things stand. We've got to get rid of Cassidy right away or I'm through.
We will. If you can remember to do exactly what I tell you.
Go on, I'm listening.
Get a dozen sticks of dynamite and meet me at the dam in a couple hours.
never get nothing. Why couldn't that girl like me instead of Hoppy?
Ain't no reason at all. You're young and you're good looking. And maybe someday you'll be somebody. Ain't no reason at all. Except in Cassidy.
Yeah, but if I was Hoppy, she wouldn't be sitting over there all alone, I bet you.
Yeah, but you ain't Hoppy. He ain't gonna be the first to give in. And he's right, too.
He might be right, but he's none too happy about it.
You know, we gotta do something about it, Lucky. Let's you and I have a talk with Miss Lorna.
You think it'll do any good?
Oh, you just leave it to me. I'll make her see the light.
My dear, why don't you stop acting like a stubborn little child? You'll save yourself a lot of unhappiness.
What do you want me to do? Go to him and admit I was wrong?
It'll be a good idea. You were, you know.
Why must everyone interfere in my affairs? First it's Mr. Benson, now it's you. I don't want to hear any more of it from anyone.
I was only trying to advise you for your own good.
I don't want to hear any more of it. Well?
Well, you see, ma'am, we've been talking things over, and we've decided that...
Are either of you by any chance trying to say something?
Well, you tell her, Baldy.
Well, you see, ma'am, we've been figuring it ain't right the way things have been going with you and Hoppy.
Did Mr. Cassidy send you to tell me this?
Well, not exactly.
If he has anything to say to me, why doesn't he come himself?
Well, Hoppy ain't the kind what gives in first, especially when he's right. Hoppy's one of the best...
Yes, I know. I should be the happiest girl in the world that he's even noticed me.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way about it, ma'am. That makes things easier.
But I don't feel that way about it.
But, ma'am, you ought to go down there.
What's the use?
I guess I said something she didn't like.
Yeah, I guess you did. You sure gummed up the works for fair then.
but I got other ideas. You just leave it to me.
Are you sure you understand what you're to do?
Yes, in the morning I'm to get word to Cassidy that Lorna's in the cabin and wants to see her.
And instead of the girl, what a nice little surprise we'll have for Mr. Cassidy.
I still don't understand how you're going to get rid of Cassidy and make it appear an accident.
Don't worry about that. All you got to do is keep your field glasses trained on that cabin. And when Cassidy steps inside, touch off the dynamite. And when all this water accidentally rushes down the canyon, I don't think we'll have to worry about Mr. Cassidy anymore.
Yes, but suppose Mr. Cassidy decides not to stay in the cabin.
I think I and a few of my friends can keep him in the cabin all right.
Kind of late for riding, ain't it?
I've been to town. Jenkins, will you put my horse away, please?
Say, did you come all the way from town by the road?
Yes, why?
You didn't happen to see any of our cattle on the road, did you? Some of our fences down.
No, I didn't. Good night.
Good night.
What do you mean our fence is down? You know better than that, Hoppy.
Sure, I know. Look at the mud on their horses' legs. That road's as dry as a bone. Looks to me like that clay up around the dam. I think we better keep our eyes open, Lucky. I got an idea maybe Scar Lewis has got something up his sleeve.
Hello, Baldy. Have a cigar.
Well, I don't mind if I do.
Well, I'm leaving for the East tonight, Baldy. But I do wish that Miss Drake and Cassidy were not at odds with each other.
What you butting in for?
Well, although I am giving her up, I still love her and want her to be happy.
Yes, got me stumped how to work out things.
Well, I think if you do exactly as I say, we can help matters. If they could just be alone for a little while.
Try and get him alone.
I think I have an idea. I'll take Miss Drake out riding. You give me about half an hour's start, then you go and tell Cassidy that Miss Drake wants him to meet her in the cabin in Boundary Canyon. Then you just leave the rest to Lorna and me.
My cracky, sounds as though it might work out that way.
But remember, don't say a word to anyone. It might spoil things.
Oh, no. You can bank on me. Where you going with all that hardware strapped around your waist, Lucky?
Me and Hoppy are going to take a little ride over to the dam.
What are you going to shoot? Goldfish?
Never can tell.
Well, I'm leaving on the stage tonight, Lorna.
Perhaps it's better that you do go, Ron. I'm sorry about everything.
Couldn't we go riding once more before I leave? Something to remember.
I think not. You understand, don't you? I'm willing to declare truce if you are.
Well, that's one more that I'm more than willing to call off, Miss Lorna.
I want to ride into town and get some things, Hoppy. Will you go with me?
Well, I'm sorry, but I want to ride up and take a look at the dam.
I knew I was making a mistake. I had no business coming to you and making a fool of myself. I should have known you weren't worthwhile. You haven't even bigness enough to meet me halfway.
It's not that at all. I'd go riding with you if I could.
You don't need to. I'm sure Ron will enjoy riding with me.
I wouldn't advise you to ride into town today.
Some more of your orders. Why not?
Lorna, I wish you'd try to understand.
I can understand just one thing. Even when I'm willing to meet you halfway, you haven't sense enough to know it. Come on, Ron.
I asked you not to ride into town today, and now I'm ordering you not to. I wish you hadn't done that. Come on, Lucky.
I wish I hadn't slapped him, Baldy. But why did he have to talk to me that way?
I don't know, ma'am. Lest 'twas he didn't want you to ride into town with that young dude.
Do you think he's jealous?
I never knowed him to be before. But he has been acting kind of funny since you've been around here. You kind of like him, don't you, ma'am?
But I'll never speak to him again. Unless he comes to me.
Well, if you're willing to leave things to me, ma'am, he will. I suppose I'll get my ears pinned back for butting in. But we've got to do something about it. I got an idea. Come on.
Oh, where are we going?
To a little cabin I know about down in Boundary Canyon. Come on, miss. It's right down here.
Doc, we've got to get out of here. Cassidy's suspicious and he's on his way up.
Then we'll just wait. He'll get a reception that he's not looking for.
Drop that gun and get your hands up. Both of you. I have an idea you'd be showing up. Now, just what is this?
Don't talk. He can't pin anything on you.
Oh, what's the use? I know when I'm beaten.
Keep your mouth shut. Shut up, you.
Let's hear it. It might make it a little bit easier for you.
Well, we were going to get you in a cabin down there, then blow up the dam so it would look like an accident.
Nice people.
Yes, I know. But I'm willing to take my medicine.
Nice little scheme he had all figured out. What's Baldy and Miss Lorna? Wonder what he's doing with her down there.
Get your rope, Lucky. We'll tie him up.
Wait a minute. Drop that gun, Cassidy, or I'll let Lucky have it. Back up. Come on. Move.
As long as I gotta go, well, I'll go. Get away from the dam, Cassidy. It's gonna blow up!
That old fool Baldy down there is liable to spoil our play.
I don't think so. I got an idea Cassidy will be showing up pretty soon.
As long as Baldy's down there with the girl, your hands are tied.
No, they're not. I made up my mind to get Cassidy if I have to wipe out the whole LD outfit to do it.
Now, you just wait in the cabin, miss, and leave everything else to me. I'll have Hoppy here in no time at all.
You're a dear, Baldy.
What's that you say?
You're a dear.
Oh, shucks, take nothing.
Sure that's all the dynamite you planted?
I give you my word it is.
Lucky, right back to the ranch and get the boys. I'll keep an eye on Scar and his men. This time we'll send him away for good.
All right, Hoppy.
Ron, I want to give you a chance. You're going from the ranch. By the time I get back, I'll keep my mouth shut about you. But steer clear men like Scar Lewis. He ain't your kind.
I'm not going to try to thank you, Mr. Cassidy. I couldn't. Harvey, the whole place is on fire. Come on.
We got to get Baldy and Lorna out of there. The way that fire's going, it won't take us 5 minutes to reach the cabin. Come on.
Chance, Cassidy. Scoundrels and his men are waiting to pick you up.
But I've got to take a chance. Hurry back to the ranch and get some help, Lucky. And if I miss, I'll leave it up to you to square things.
Okay, Hoppy. I'm riding with you.
Come on. Keep me covered as much as you can. I'm going down there.
Should we let him have it? Not unless we have to. The fire will take care of him if we can just keep him down there.
Baldy! You stay here and keep me covered. I'll get her.
Turning and circling us.
Keep shooting. We gotta get him before we leave.
Right.
Come on, Baldy, let's get out of here. Nice work, boys. Looks like we don't have to worry about the fire now, Lorna. The way it's headed, it'll burn itself out when it reaches the fire break. Say, Baldy, you and 3 of the boys take Scar's gang into town. Lucky and the rest of us will stand by the fire break just in case. Come on. And you ride back to the ranch.
Yes, Hoppy. I'll be back in the fall. Next time, I'll expect to stay a little longer.
I'll still be here.
London's not such a bad place either, Hoppy. I'd like to send one of our prize heads to England. Do you think you could manage to take them over?
Oh, I reckon I could get them over there all right. I always did want to take a boat ride.
Come on, young fella, hop on. There's plenty of room. We ain't got much time to make that stage.
Haven't, Baldy.
I forgot. Well, I ain't going to say ain't no more.
I'm not leaving, Baldy. I decided to stay on with Mr. Cassidy for a while. There's a few more things I want to learn.
Then our trip has been a complete success. We've all accomplished something. Even you, Aunt Martha.
I?
Sure. You teached me to speak good English, didn't you?
Oh, shucks, tain't nothing.
Get up.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Hoppy.
Get out there.